All right, so we're here in the garage, and I'm gonna try this out. I'm not using the GoPro. I'm actually using the computer. I'm gonna go over and talk a little bit about my five best fish from 2020. Um, Suffering from some allergies right now, so bear with me. If I have to sneeze, I might be running out of camera view and doing that. But we're gonna talk about the five best fish. We're gonna talk about the baits that I caught them on, and just kind of go into that. These weren't the five. I don't want to say they're the five best fish. These are the five most memorable fish of the year, um, culminating to a big one at the end. And I think most people who know me know which fish that was. So we're gonna talk about that, and then you know there were a few other bigger ones that I caught, but they were just kind of oh, cool, caught a big one, but these ones had some meaning. So let's get right into it. All right, so first fish we're going to cover this for this year was a fish I caught during a tournament, and it was during the MAKBF Mid Atlantic Kayak Bass Fishing Organization co-hosted season finale with Delaware Paddle Sports. It happens every year. This year was kind of different. We did a team event, which was really cool. In 2019, I had achieved Angler of the Year title for MAKBF, and in 2020, Matthew Campbell was the 2020 Angler of the Year for MAKBF. And in a random pairing, we actually got paired together. So it was really kind of cool. It was really kind of neat. It was something that we both talked about. We're like, man, like a lot of pressure on us. We should probably win this. Um, but we went fishing, and the way it works was any freshwater body of water in Delaware was eligible. So I went to a location where I had won that tournament when it was a singles event the previous year. And I went there and just tried to do the same pattern as I did the year prior, and um, it was a lot tougher bite. I was not able to get five fish. I was only able to get four, but with four fish, I think in the DPS part of it, I still think I finished in like the top 10, maybe top five. I'm not exactly sure. So I had decent fish. And in the bait, of course, everybody knows me for loving this particular bait, but was the chatterbait, jackhammer to be specific. That one still got some garlic on it. And hold on, allergies. So anyway, back after a sneeze. Um, as I was saying, the jackhammer chatterbait. That was the deal. This one still got some scent and stuff on it. You can't smell it, but it's really garlicky. So that was what I caught a majority of the fish on, and I actually lost two of those down there due to pickerel, and they got sharp teeth. So yeah, watch it, check it out. There will be some still photos after because, like a dummy, I forgot to show the camera the fish.
Thank you. good one. Oh. Come on, dude. Chill. Well, that was a 20-inch fish, and I completely just let it go without even showing the camera. Stupid. I'm so stupid. I'll put pictures of it in the still photos in it, but that's a good one. Needed that one.
So the next fish that I'm highlighting was a 20-inch smallmouth that I actually caught on my birthday. I went out with the intention. I took my grandpa's fly rod. I went out with the intention to try to catch fish on Pap's fly rod um, that day, and it wasn't materializing. The wind was brutal. Not the greatest fly casting fisherman. So it's something that I know how to do. I'm just not proficient at it. So I ended up resorting to conventional methods. And then I started catching a good many fish. And at the end of the day, I again was throwing. It's not a jackhammer that you can buy. You can make it, but this particular jackhammer has a different skirt color. And in the clear water of the Susquehanna, I really like this pattern. This is like a green pumpkin pattern. It's got some black in it. But I think that it really looks like those small little tiny bait fish that we have swimming around in the river. The skirting, you get a good look at it. And then I just throw a little green pumpkin trailer, whether it be a razor shad or a Zako on it. Um, and you can tell this one's been used quite a bit. So this sees a lot of action. But that's what I thought. And it was a blast. It had some net trouble, but got it. Ended up getting it into boat. So take a look.
Nope. No, come on, you're big. Nope. No, come on, you're big. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's a good one. How about that one? That is why you come to the Susquehanna River, baby. Woo! Man, that's a good fish. That one's got to be 20. And she is 20-inch fish on my birthday, 20 on the dot. Oh. Beautiful fish. Exactly 20 inches. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to the camera. Man, that's a pretty fish.
All right. So the next fish I have no video of. The only video I have of it is a short little release clip that I'll play after this. Photos. But the next fish was an absolute giant. Here in Pennsylvania, it's a big one. In other parts of the country, it's still a good fish, a really good fish, and it's a big fish. But here in Pennsylvania, you don't see many fish like this. This was a 22-inch, 7 pound. I think it was 5 ounces whenever I weighed it. Absolute giant of a fish. Um, and I was fishing a place where I fish quite a bit, and I have a good bit of success there. And I've caught some other big fish there that are, equally as great and important. And one that actually my personal best came from there. So I got, I know a little bit about this water. The time of the year I was fishing it, this exact bait is what I caught it on. This is a hardcore, I think it's made by Yozuri, XX crank plus one 65F. The moral of the story is it's like a 3 to 6 foot square bill. The bill of it is pretty chewed up. Um, I don't know. I mean, I need to order another one of these because it's the only one I have. But this bait has done some serious damage for me this year and even last year. I had a I had a day on the river last year where I probably caught 50 fish on this bait. Um, Maybe not that. I actually did lose the other one that I had. That bait's somewhat newer, I guess. Um, but yeah, I caught this fish and I got a little release video of it and some still photo of it on the measuring board. I'll add those in, but that was a pretty cool fish. It was my at the time was my best fish of the year that I ended up beating down in Tennessee, which we'll talk about. That was a bank fish, so I didn't actually. It's in the video, but it's not part of the kayak deal. So yeah, on to the next one.
7 pounds, 5 ounces. Big old Pennsylvania stud. Oh yeah. Go on, girl.
All right, so the next fish was caught in a tournament. It was here on the Susquehanna River. It was day two of the KBF Trail Series that visited here in 2020. I was not able to fish day one because I was working night shift. I got off Sunday morning at 3 a.m. and immediately went home and picked up my boat and got changed and headed to the river. And because I didn't have a lot of time and everything, I wanted to just go somewhere, pretty close to home. So I stayed around City Island, which you guys can see in the video. Um, and, I just worked my normal pattern. And it's something that I do. Like if I just want to go fun fishing, um, I go to this place and normally can catch them. And I caught my personal best smallmouth this day. It was a 20 3/4 inch fish. I could have gotten 21 inches out of it, but the mouth was open just a hair, and I didn't want to take a chance of getting penalized. So measurement wise, it was 20 3/4. But I would say it was a 21-inch fish. Um, and I caught that on a whopper plopper, bone color. This one's particularly chewed up, but um, I like to switch out the hooks. I actually like a thinner wire hook, but still a strong hook. I don't know the package and see, but that's what I caught it on, and I caught a lot of fish on that day. That summertime topwater bite on the Susquehanna is pretty awesome. But yeah, it was a good quality fish, old fish. Like it was beat up. You could tell it was older. Those smallmouth when they get old, they get them those really rough like jaws around their jaw area gets really like you can just tell they're old. It's almost like an old person getting gray hair. Um, this fish was definitely a brute, and you'll see. Check out the video.
That is look at that fish.
All right, so this last fish, um, man, what a way to start the year. Uh, just gonna get into it. It was again on chatterbait, on a white chatterbait, and what I was using was uh, in white and chartreuse. So it wasn't like a full white and chartreuse, bait and trailer. It was just a trailer that was white and chartreuse. Um, just an absolute clutch fish when I needed it. It was 21 3/4 inches. I would estimate it somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds. And it happened with 45 minutes left in the day of the Hobie BOS tournament at Lake Seminole, Georgia. Man, what a tournament. Day one, I was in second place with 92 inches, somewhere around there, but I was like 9 inches back from the leader, Josh Counts, who had an absolutely amazing day, or I should say, amazing first hour or two, because he did most of that work in the first hour or two. Um, and I was sitting in a good position, but I didn't really think I was in it. And day two was tougher. My fish, the pattern that I had on day one was kind of dissipated a little bit, and I think the spot got beat up pretty hard. And I went back there and just tried to recreate it and had to adjust a little bit. The fish went a little deeper, so I had to, fish a different area of the water column. And man, it just right there at the end of the day, uh, this fish, like I was shaking, I was tore up. But it resulted in this. I was the winner of the Hobie BOS at Lake Seminole, and that is what makes that fish the most important fish. This was the best fish out of a kayak that I had had this year, and I'm gonna add some photos in of it, but I don't have any video because I wasn't YouTubing or trying to YouTube at that time. This was, prior to this endeavor. So I'll add in some still photos, and that's the story behind it. Yeah, take a look at the photos. Then we're going to talk about the last fish real quick. All right, so the last fish, it was kind of cool the way this worked out. With my win at the Lake Seminole, I qualified for the Tournament of Champions down in Knoxville, Tennessee, with the Hobie Bass Open Series. So went down there, got myself a nice little spot to stay, and I was there for basically a week leading up to the event. And the Airbnb where I stayed at had a cool little farm pond, and they said, we had access to fishing if we chose to. So I was like, sure, got done pre-fishing, came back and was heading to dinner, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop real quick and just cast out. And literally on the first cast, I got destroyed, and I missed the fish. Like I couldn't catch up to it. Like he hit so hard, and I was just reeling, 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 and could not catch up to it. So I cast it back in, and again, just absolutely annihilated. And that time I was ready. I set the hook, and it ended up being a 23-inch largemouth bass. No idea on the weight, no video of it. All I have is some still photos. I'll add those in for you to look at. But that was my five best fish. Again, let me go back. That was my five most important fish of the year, to me at least. From a kayak and then that extra little bank beater at the end, which is cool because it actually increases my personal best length to 23 inches for largemouth bass. Prior to that was 22 and three quarters. And I think that 22 and three quarter actually still holds my PB weight. That was an 8 pound, 8 ounce largemouth. Um, but I don't think this 23-inch fish was over 8 pounds. I don't. I think it was probably in the sevens. But yeah, so take a look at the still photos, and the next video that I should be releasing should be the five best baits, which is going to be closely resembling this five, most important fish of 2020. Thanks for watching. If you don't mind, give me a like and subscribe, and stay tuned because next year I'm YouTubing the whole season. So that's going to be a cool endeavor. Is just taking that on and videoing all the tournaments, all the practice, and all the fishing, and hopefully get to share that with all of you. So thanks for watching.